G'day you mob, and welcome back to the Pouch series that I am doing with my friends Greg and Jake from the podcast called The Pouch, all about Australian politics. In the next part of this series, we're going to be answering your questions related to Australian politics. So guys, it's an advanced English series here where we are talking naturally, but it is a little bit difficult at times as there are three of us all having a bit of a laugh, having a spontaneous conversation, and we talk over the top of each other, so don't get too stressed out. If you don't hear or understand every single word that we say, the whole point is to be a fly on the wall and practice your listening comprehension when multiple native speakers are having a spontaneous conversation, and at the same time, you're going to be learning about Australia and Australian politics. So guys, without any further ado, tap the Karawong and let's get into it. Greg, what's going on with China and the Australian government?
Oh, geez.
There's a hot potato for you.
I actually scripted it in today's in tonight's show, Greg. So if you want to jump into that,
we can end after this one. But I would love to touch on what's going on there with what's happened. You don't have to give your views on it if you don't want to, be assassinated. But
yeah, look, essentially, I suppose at the moment it's obvious that so many countries are beholden to China and their economies are basically reliant on China to get up to that surplus or to get some money in that they've already spent. And Jake, feel free to jump in at any time. I think from the top of my head, what's happened, someone has basically said, if you, a top diplomat in China has basically said, if you continue to talk about China in this way, well, maybe Chinese people might not want to come to your country anymore. Maybe people will
we won't buy your beef.
Yeah, maybe people will see it as hostile and you won't get as many students.
Well, a big issue was that Australia's supporting the investigation and independent investigation into the origins of COVID and what happened, right? And the ironic thing, I guess, with China is that there's the rumor going around that it originated in America, in which case you would imagine they'd be like, oh man, please investigate, prove the fact that it came from America. But they're saying, if you keep supporting America's push for this investigation, we're going to use trade as a way to punish you, Australia, or anyone else who, doesn't fall in line.
Which, frankly, it differs greatly from a China of 4 weeks ago, who was sharing information willingly with all countries to ensure that all of those countries had the ability to fight the virus that, by all rights, by all facts, evidence, etc., originated in China. I think the great issue here, and please feel welcome to dispute this, but I think the great issue here is that
disputing it right now.
Australia actually managed this really poorly. I think what the issue was there were certain people that have a certain facial colour close to burgundy, close to orange maybe, that suggested that there was a large amount of collusion between China and the WHO.
He's referencing Trump. Anyone who just missed the sarcasm there.
And,
just to clarify.
And so I think the issue was that we had a whole bunch of people from our political parties publicly support Trump's calls for both an investigation and for the rescinding of any funding going to the World Health Organization. I still can't say it. And as
WHO.
a consequence, WHO. Oh, I thought I'd mention it.
If only there was a better way to say it.
If only there were. But yeah, so I think the fact that we had so many people with political clout in Australia publicly supporting America's request, which, the way that America went about this was totally indignant. It was totally meant to stoke fires. It was totally meant to put them off, in a way that showed American superiority. Yeah, we're doing this better than they could and whatever. Yeah. But ultimately, by supporting the way that by supporting Trump's statements and by supporting the level of animosity that America holds against China, and by trying to echo that from our perspective, China is our neighbor. And they're frankly a pretty good neighbor. Like, we have a pretty good trade relationship with them.
If they stop trade with us tomorrow, apart from the fact that we're already in recession because of COVID, we go they take something like 66% of our exports or something crazy. So
and a lot of
we'd be screwed without you guys, like China.
Historically, the stuff that China buys from any country are stuff that you dig out of the ground. Mm-hmm. They don't, they have the most immense manufacturing sector that there is. The whole premise of the Opium Wars was, the UK trying to, and America trying to sell stuff. Hey, here's all this stuff that we make, guys. Just buy it from us. And China's saying, no, we got no need for it. We make it all here.
We'd prefer that our population buys from the stuff that we already have. Yeah, exactly. Just sell us the raw materials, please.
Exactly.
But we did send a please explain though. Like we did say, hey, we did sort of go, what is this coercion? What is this, economic coercion that you're trying to pull off?
No, exactly. Yeah. I think ultimately we could have gone about it in a significantly better way by saying, not, hey guys, you've done something wrong here. We want to make sure that you are publicly shamed and blamed for this. Instead of doing that, because that, that's political point scoring. It doesn't get you anywhere, and it certainly doesn't get you to a position where collectively, as a planet, you are better at addressing these same sorts of things that are bound to crop up in the future. So the way that it could have been done better is to say, hey, we want to make sure that, if an epidemic occurs, if a virus, jumps an animal species into a human species and has the opportunity to propagate, we want to make sure that if that is identified, that we appropriately handle it in the future, vastly better than we did. So that so that much fewer people die, so that far fewer countries see the spread of it.
So the global economy doesn't lose $6 trillion.
Exactly. Had they done it like that, we need to learn from we need to learn lessons out of that instead of just, hey guys, you suck, you did a bad thing to the planet. Yeah. I feel like we would be in a vastly better situation. But we've got people who like to score political points because, it's easy sometimes.
All right, guys, thank you once again so much for joining me in today's episode. I hope you got a little bit out of this episode and learnt a little bit more about Australia, the Australian political environment, everything like that. And don't forget to go and check out The Pouch, the podcast, where you will be able to listen to episodes released every single week from Jake Farwharton and Greg Savage. These guys are both Australian and they're very knowledgeable when it comes to all things Australia, but particularly politics. So go and check out the podcast, guys. And until next time, I wish you all the best.